We're counting down the top tips of 2021, and for my intro to this series and the full list of top tips, just click over to DailySales.Tips/best of 2021. Here's number 8. You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today's tip comes from Jason Cutter. Jason is the CEO and founder of Cutter Consulting Group, and he's also the author of the book Selling with Authentic Persuasion, Transforming from Order Taker to Quota Breaker. Here he is.
If there's one thing I've found that leads to success, it's being a leader. Now, when I tell people that, most of the time they're thinking leadership roles, VP of sales, director, manager, like I've got to be a leader of things. The thing to keep in mind, if there's one area of your sales process to focus on, right, to improve your effectiveness, it's to sell from a place of leadership. Your goal actually is to be a leader of your prospect. And the same leadership principles that you would use as a VP, director, a founder of a company, even the president of your club, it doesn't matter. It's the same leadership principles. The first one is that you want to have a mission and a vision that people will be drawn to, that you can pull people along to. Now, the problem is in sales is most people push. They feel like they're pushing their prospects forward. They got to push them across the finish line. They've got to use manipulation. They've got to use tricks. They've got to use excitement and charisma and motivation, like some kind of self-help person on stage trying to get you to sign up for a course. That's how salespeople do. And just in case you're curious, manipulation also includes pricing, discounts, end of quarter. That's manipulation. Now, it's not super negative, but it still is. When you do those things, you're trying to push somebody forward. Instead, what you want to pull your prospects along with you on your mission and your vision. Now, how do you do that? Right now, obviously you're selling something and it's not like you're trying to save the world with what you're selling. How do you do that? You want to get them on board. How do you get them on board? It's by understanding what do they want and why. And you've got to do that. I see so many people really just fail at that, where they lead in the conversation. All they do is start out the process with their long monologues, talking about themselves, their company, their product, their awards, their logo, their logos for everyone that works with them. And they think that's going to be enough, but that's pushing, right? You want to pull. You want to ask questions. You want to uncover who they are, what they want, why they want it, how it will help them, what it will mean to them. Then what you want to do is help them see their future with your product, their career, their work life, their personal life, their own success, what they could be, do, and have as a result of buying from you. Now, that might sound very big picture, but that's the case. Always remember, you're selling to a human. Now, you could be business to business. You want this company to be your client, but it's still a human on the other side. They have goals, they have hopes, they have fears, they have all these things going on, and you want them to see that. You want them to see that future. You want them to get bought in on their vision, and then tie that with how your product or service helps accomplish that vision, and then what your vision is. And then what happens is now you're pulling, now you're leading. A good sign, a positive sign that you're leading your prospects effectively, not pushing, but you're pulling, and they want to follow you, is that more often than not, they are asking you about buying. They want what you have. And I'm not talking about just doing the lay down deals and being an order taker. I mean, you've got to overcome objections, concerns, challenges, third parties, all the stakeholders, everybody who's got to be involved. But when it comes down to it, you're not pushing, you're not tricking, you're not manipulating, you're not bargaining, you're not bribing, you're not negotiating with the majority of your prospects. The majority of your prospects are wanting what you have. They want to follow you. Apple doesn't have to trick, manipulate, lie, motivate, get excited. They don't do those things to get lines out the door when a new product comes out, right? They're not even the cheapest. And some people would argue maybe they're not even the best, but they're really good at what they do. Their people want them, and people are pulled along on their mission. And that's what you want to create in your sales process. In order to do that, make sure you do the early stages really, really well. Rapport, empathy, which is your discovery and question asking phase, and showing them that you care by being interested in them, and then building trust. When you do those three phases, right? Rapport, empathy, and trust building. When you do those properly, when you do those deeply, and you spend as much time as necessary there before your monologues, before your slide presentations, before your logo castles, before you get into all that stuff, when you do those really well, then all of a sudden the conversation is going to be focused around them, and they're going to see that, and they're going to feel it, and they're going to want to be a part of whatever your solution is because you've helped them understand, feel, see, taste, touch, all of everything that your solution has for them. And I know that might sound woo-woo, might sound weird, but when you do that, you're going to be a leader of your prospects, where your prospects say, I want what you have. I want to be on board. I want to buy this. I can see how this is going to help me. What's the next step?
For more about Jason and for a link to buy his book, Selling with Authentic Persuasion, just click over to DailySales.Tips/732. Once you've done that, be sure to come back tomorrow for another great sales tip. Thanks for listening.